Today with me is Jessica Kaluzny. Jess is an old friend of mine from when we attended Lewis University together back in 2014 and 15. The reason I asked to interview her is because she has gotten an education at two Midwest District Lasallian universities. First, her undergrad at Lewis in Romeoville, Illinois, and now her master's at Christian Brothers University in Memphis, Tennessee. We also have another Midwest university called St. Mary's University in Winona, Minnesota. You'll hear me mention the 6 Lasallian universities in the Midwest. The 3 others are St. Mary's College in Moraga, California, LaSalle University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Manhattan College in the Bronx, New York. Jess found Lewis by chance, but she specifically chose Christian Brothers for her graduate degree. Jess was a Lasallian volunteer for 2 years, and if you complete 2 years of the program like she did, you have the chance to get your master's completely paid for. Jess is taking full advantage of that opportunity, and I'm proud to say that she chose to stay in the Midwest to complete her dream of graduating with a degree in teaching. Here's Jess.
Hey, I'm Jess. I went to Lewis University. I graduated in 2017 with an undergrad in theology and psychology, and my Lasallian journey continued as I joined the Lasallian volunteer program for 2 years. I was placed in Memphis, Tennessee at De La Salle Elementary at Blessed Sacrament Parish, and I taught kindergarten through 4th grade religion, which again led me to fall in love with teaching, and now I'm here at CBU working in campus ministry and getting my graduate degree in teaching.
So you got your undergrad at Lewis University. When you decided to go there, did you know what Lasallian meant?
I knew that Lewis was a Catholic school, but I was really interested in it because my cousins had went there. And it's an absolutely gorgeous campus. The word Lasallian, I knew that it had to do with something being Catholic, but I did not know what it meant at all when I first stepped on campus.
So what was your experience like at Lewis, and how did you learn what Lasallian meant over time?
Yeah, so I think that I learned what Lasallian meant through how I was treated at Lewis. In campus ministry, in the classroom, you can just really tell that everyone wants to be there for the students, and that rings true so much to De La Salle's teachings in wanting to be there for his students. And so that love and that concern for each and every individual on campus is what spoke true to the Lasallian mission at Lewis.
And how did, that experience lead you to become a Lasallian volunteer?
Yeah, so I just remember feeling so empowered. As a student, I just remember my teachers taking extra time to make sure that they encouraged me, that they knew why I was studying what I was, and they just really got the chance to know me as a person, and that empowerment and that sense of feeling like I belonged and that I mattered, just really drove inside me a desire to give back. And so I was getting my degree in theology and psychology, and you can do so much with that, and teaching is always something that I wanted to explore, and so I thought it was a perfect way to kind of bridge something I was familiar with, theology. I was going to be teaching religion, with something new. I had never been in the classroom teaching before, so that would be a place that I was stretched, and an opportunity for me to show my students that they mattered and that they were important, and give them the dignity and the respect that I had as a student at Lewis.
So you did 2 years of service for Lasallian volunteers at De La Salle Blessed Sacrament Elementary. What was that like?
During my time as a Lasallian volunteer, I really think that I got to dive deeper into what Lasallian means, because I was feeling the Lasallian mission, but it's so much different when you are in charge of carrying out that mission to the students. So I think the core values of faith, service, and community just really came alive during my time as a Lasallian volunteer. So if I wasn't relying on my faith, then I was not my best self to my kids, and it really became obvious in the classroom if I was not leaning on God and growing in my own faith life. I was not being present to my students, and I was teaching religion, so that was something that was so important. And community was, I think, the driving force of how my 2 years of service were just so fruitful. I had the wonderful opportunity of serving alongside 3 great community members, and just being able to share life with them, share their stories, and have them get to know me more was so special. And the brothers here at Christian Brothers University, who I was in community with as a Lasallian volunteer, just welcomed us with open arms. They adopted us kind of as their temporary grandkids, so it was super special to be in community with them. And so, being propelled by faith and community, the service just became so much more fruitful. If community and faith were going well, then service just like skyrocketed in the amount of energy and spunk I was able to bring in the classroom. And so I really loved my kids, and I strived every day to like show them that they were loved and that they mattered. So yeah.
So you did your 2 years, and because you did that, the Lasallian Volunteer Program offers you to be a Lasallian Volunteer Scholar, where you can get your master's paid for at one of the 6 Lasallian universities. What made you decide to get your master's at Christian Brothers University?
So, if you would have told me that I was going to be in Memphis for over 4 years, I would have told you were crazy. But once I got here and figured out what was here for me in Memphis, it literally just became just like a present that God just like wrapped up with a beautiful bow, because I had the opportunity to stay somewhere comfortable. I had the opportunity to explore something new because I wasn't a student at Christian Brothers University, and I had never worked in campus ministry before. But I also had the opportunity to work alongside 2 people that mean a lot to me. So in campus ministry, both of my coworkers are people that I had previous relationships with before. So Joey, the director of campus ministry, he was my campus minister in college, so it's really special to come back and work with him as his coworker. And Brother Tom, who is also in campus ministry, he was my community director. So it was kind of like that huge gift was almost waiting for me essentially to come unwrap. And I knew that as far as education goes, you can't go wrong with any of the 6 Lasallian schools. So it was essentially just where I felt like my heart was being pulled to, and it was not being pulled anywhere but to stay here in Memphis. So yeah.
Not many people can say that they've had 2 experiences in higher education with Lasallian universities. What does that mean to you to be able to receive a Lasallian education both at Lewis University and Christian Brothers?
I really appreciate here at Christian Brothers University, on every single door, there's an enter to learn and a leave to serve, depending on which way you're going through the doors. And I really think that getting educated by Lasallian educators has really inspired me to go out and share that with others. So I've already kind of spoken of how I just really wanted to strive to share that empowerment in that sense of belonging to my students. And I think that's what I really want to strive for when I leave the Lasallian higher ed world. I want to go into the classroom and create just such a strong relationships with my students that allow them to feel loved, to feel safe, and to feel that they matter in my classroom, so that sense of love can propel them to fall in love with learning itself, and hopefully that will propel them into a desire to have a lifelong learning process.
So you had 4 years at Lewis University as an undergrad, and you will have 2 years at Christian Brothers University for your master's. Can you tell me the differences and the similarities between the 2 universities?
I think the similarities in both universities is just how much the faculty and staff care about the students. I was welcomed into Lewis with open arms, just with so many people just like wanting to make sure you're doing okay, wanting the best for you, really wanting to just make sure that you loved whatever degree you are getting. And that sense of being welcomed with open arms is still so present here at Christian Brothers University. And it has just been so special to just feel that sense of welcomeness and that sense of belonging, because it really builds up the community. And I think that because there is such a strong community at both Lewis and Christian Brothers, that they both just have a sense of home. Whenever I was on campus at Lewis, I just felt like it was home. And now that I've gotten to spend more time here in Memphis and get more acclimated with the university, I'm only in my first few months of my graduate program, but it already still feels like it's home as well. And I guess how they're different is I've gotten to see two different sides of both universities. So at Lewis University, I was receiving all of the efforts that the faculty and staff were pouring into their students. And so I was just got to enjoy that. And now I have to carry that out in campus ministry for the students. So I'm on a completely different side, so it's just different to have different relationships with the staff, faculty, and even the students, just because you're on a different side. So, yeah.
What would you say to someone who considered going to a Lasallian University for their higher education? What would you want to tell them? What can you leave us with?
I would say one of the greatest benefits of going to a Lasallian college is the fact that you're just like not going to be forgotten about. You're just not another student sitting in a classroom that the professor won't care what grade you get, because they're just there to do their job and go home, and that's all. They want you to succeed. They want you to grow, and they want you to share what you learned with the world. And I think that that sense of care is so present at both Lasallian universities that I've got the privilege to be involved with, and I don't think that that's present everywhere. And I also think that the small class sizes really have a community aspect to them. You get really close with the people in your class because they're small, and just to know that the schools are also driven by faith, and that there's a greater reason that they're doing what they're doing, I think is also special.
Jess, thank you for sitting down and talking with me today.
Yeah, thank you.